All right, folks, let's get into it. Another Harmonic Pattern podcast. Today, happy to bring in Mitch Ray, right top of the hour. So, big shout out for Mitch coming in today. Appreciate that. We'll dig into some crypto early here. Take a look at some stocks, major markets. Nasdaq's up 45. Yesterday was pretty impressive. S&P 500. It's only up 8, but where is it? Where's S&P? S&P's at above 6,400. That's pretty big stuff. Hold on. Let me bring it in here. What's going on, you guys? Settle on in. We're going to have a good show, and we're going to have a great discussion. It's been a while with Mitch. Before we get to him, let's just talk big markets like Bitcoin, NASDAQ, QQQ, S&P, and then if you guys want to shill a few ideas, by all means. Great to see you. What's going on? Joe, David, Vinny, Vin, X, Wayne, Bat, Son. Great to see you guys. Another summer session. Coming into August, so, things should kind of get a little quieter. We might see a couple bounces, but I think the levels that we're at, we're really close to these short-term targets I've been talking about for a while. I mean, we're above hop levels, but I think we're going to have to digest some of this stuff. That's what Bitcoin's doing. Just a big digestion up here at around 118. Going sideways, and so what would you say about that pattern? Let me take this off. It's a 4-hour deep crab. Hits the hop perfectly, everything there, but it's just a reaction, and that's it. The only thing that I would love to see here, I'm going to bring this back in with Bitcoin, is to have yellow bullish dot confirmation. And then that would send it back, at least for this immediate test, back up to the hop level. Here's the 118. It's 117,980 exactly. That's your XA level. That's the 4-hour crab. Okay, what is it? All this really is a 1618, okay, of the June correction. Natural 1618 advance. Hop level 1902 overspill creates the perfect zone. So it's, great zone hits the 1618, but we're just going sideways. Typical dud behavior. Certainly we don't know until really it's like 30 bars later. But, that was last week. 30 bars was last Wednesday. Still sideways. Yes, maybe we come back down. I would love to see this area. Like 116. Get tagged. Give me a dot. Stay sideways and then go back up. Great to see everybody. What's going on? Come on in. Yeah, we're going to bring Mitch will be here in about 15, 20 minutes. So I'm going to keep it moving along. And then you guys have a couple ideas you want to post, a couple of individual things. We'll look at them with him. I think he and I are going to really kind of hammer on Bitcoin, maybe some of even the bigger stuff. S&P 500, what do we do with that? NASDAQ, how high is that going? Where is this stuff going? Like, now what? We're above levels. So settle in. Everybody, get over. Let's get this out of the way. Get over to HarmonicTrader.com. Get with the greatest harmonic pattern software program that ever is, was, will be. I'm telling you, this thing is like, it's the greatest thing I've ever done, this software. And I'm not even a programmer. I mean, I created all the logic for this thing, but it's kind of a dream of seeing the ideas that I started with back in the 90s, long time ago, and then we're able to code them, algo it out, and then create just crushing setups over and over again. So get your TradingView username over to hpc at sr-analyst.com. Get the 14-day free trial. And while we're doing that, the next person who has not won before, please, wants to type in HPC 30, we'll give you that 30-day package, gold membership, 30 days instead of 14, and then also on our Discord, okay? We're going to do the, just reminder, I'll have an official announcement like next week, but it's definitely going to be kind of a year-end prep session, September 1st, Monday. It'll be the next installment. Last one we did was June. Was great. If you want that link, hit me on the Discord as well. That's great. What's up, Cody Codes? What's up, Cody? Cody, you're a winner. Cody, I'm going to put the Discord link in the chat and get over to there. Anybody else that you have any questions or you want to contact me, that's the place to do it. Great. Get that out of the way. Now let's get to some charts. Hit that Discord link, okay? Congratulations, Cody. We'll do one more in about 10 minutes before we bring Mitch in. So talking about levels, what are we thinking Bitcoin right now, guys? Is this going to do a type 1 on the 4-hour? And I posted this chart, and I like 2 days ago, and it's still, the general shape still might happen. I think it could be at a higher level. We could probably get a little check back, and then maybe we get a dot that doesn't officially get to target 1. It's like the daily shark that failed, and now we fail again against that crab, and we go higher. That's how you do it. The shark, that was a little challenging because of everything that was there on the daily. And it blew through. And this is also how you fail. I mean, truly fail. Major pattern, major level resistance. I still say it would have been, okay, it would have been perfectly ideal to do an ABCD. We never got to 93.2, got to 98. But that's ancient history. Now I just want to deal with, is this morphing into the larger scenario that's kind of like this, where Bitcoin builds and builds and builds? You guys know my targets are much higher. We don't have to review those. They're, 155, 160, above 115. And I would say this latest daily structure, this latest daily confirmation here, that would have to fail just like the last one did. So watching that closely, it just would mean it would take more time. I'm not concerned about this. However long it wants to take, I don't care. It's just a pause. And you should treat these bearish signals, daily 4-hour, just harmonic pause going forward. That's how critical 115 for me has always been. And even if we came back tested 115, 110, something like that, I mean, it just doesn't matter to me anymore. Okay, I'm looking for this consolidation to end and then continue it. Next leg higher really should see some movement. I mean, big breakout, yes. Really strong over the last 90 days. Bitcoin's been damn impressive, guys. I mean, really this stretch from like May and then June and held firm at an area where it could be really challenged. Everyone else is looking at the breakout above the all-time high, little cup and handle thing, which is good to go. But we know that, this pattern, it lost its mojo. Remember, we were 30 days, we went sideways and then posted 2 counter signals like that. and started heading back up. And again, you retested the zone like 60 days later, trying to fail it. For me, it's about the weekly. Let's get to the end of the month on Bitcoin because we're a week away. Week away. Get to the monthly chart, monthly close. And the monthly close, the monthly candles, we should be kind of updating throughout the week, at least once a week. Take a look at if we are where I think we are in this acceleration phase. Okay, this monthly continuation, acceleration, especially with this month, should be an acceleration. We're not screwing around anymore. We're above critical levels, and I would say that this broader sweep here is, look at this sweep the same way. We busted the 1618, 1902. For this last correction, that 1902, 1618 was like right there. You guys get that? I mean, that's so important to the whole understanding of character. That stuff is just, it's simple but critical for, a measured argument of saying, okay, we expected 1618 price discovery. We got that. This is the last cycle. We got that, and then 1902 was even more devastating. And we go through and sail 1902 pretty clearly, and then bang, 3618 ultimate extension. Again, scale's different here. We're on a regular scale, not log, but this is the character shift that we're at. Maybe even late stages because, hey, 3 strong candles could finish this big push up, but you're there at that push. You're above the relative 1618. Remember, this is why we're looking for this shift now. Why 115 has always been that number for us, 1618, bang, like there, and then sorry for not being exact, but 1902 is like, oh, let me go there. Right there. Let me get that. It should be like 115 there. Yeah, that has to come down a little bit. But then it shifts, and it's probably next month because this is the first month it has been pierced. Yep. So that would be, let's look at it last cycle. Okay, here's last cycle. Oh, hold on one second. Let me get this back in there. Let me test here. Great. Okay. So last cycle, let's blow it up. The relative level. If this is, 3618 was like 65K. Let's just tack 100K. Let's keep it really simple. I'm not saying the measured level is like 155. Let's just say 165. Just put a 1 digit in front of this. All right, so, okay, you're here. Relative level, like 32 to go to 65 is a double after the 1618 breakout. So 1618 breakout relative to where we are now, it's 102, 102.5 with even a little overspill, 115. Here, same kind of deal. Although that was like 3 months on the first push. You took some extra time. I think you're at a level where you go like 1, 2, 3. The monthly bars are that critical. Can be that significant where you're already there. Let's just also look at it this way, guys. Just critical levels, 115. Okay, and then now off that last swing from April, incredibly, we're already projecting 1618s, and that's like 131, 132. Can anybody argue that that's this breakout and what has happened is not price discovery and strong price discovery with clear trend channel considerations? I just think that that's not a reach. So if that's not a reach, and even on the short term, 1618 advance is like 131, 132. You know what we're doing. We're staying with it, and we're staying with it now. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Big stuff. All right, let's jump over really quick, guys. Get Mitch here in about 5 or 10 minutes. So the big levels, 115 is that resistance now support. Immediate 131, 132, 1618 advance. Okay, off of the February, March correction, and then we'll take the bigger ones. So I'll go 132. Let's jump really quick S&P because we want to talk with these major markets, and then we'll break it down on some individual issues with Mitch. Guys, so the greatest, the second greatest. I'll show you the greatest chart, the greatest harmonic pattern chart, long term ever. This is the second greatest, and I think what this is going to go down as the greatest type 2 failure ever. We have taken it all out. 6180 seems like, oh yeah, of course we were going to 6180. Okay, where's this going now? What kind of levels? Because after the type 1, just perfect. That might be the greatest type 1 reaction because it's monthly and so large and so percentage-wise. And then the response was a massive bypass. Zero confirmation. Two ways to look at this. I know we've mentioned this before, but again, we're above the 6,400 level. 6,350 was it for me. And I think we have to stay on this weekly basis of, 1618 price discovery. At a minimum, it's like 7K, guys. I think it's going to surprise people. I really do. I don't think people are prepared to accept that this is what's happening right now. So don't, I want to be in front of it. Okay, I want to be in front of it, and it's off of the last correction is, a lot of these markets, think of it this way, with Bitcoin too, trying to do a 1618 advance to 132. In terms of an allocation argument, why not? What the larger market is saying is like, hey, we're ready to dump money into all these markets, and we're doing a long-term 1618 advance, which is by definition a natural growth cycle. So folks, think of it like this. You're already halfway through one natural segmented move in the market. Takes you to 7K minimum. And a lot like the same kind of segmented approach, you go back October 23 and it did this kind of a thing. We are looking for like this, and it does this. Same thing here. Same thing here. No doubt this has moved quite a distance, guys. I don't want to be complacent on at least short-term targets, but this is what the breakout's saying to me. We're going to be next week we'll be closing out July, and just park it here. Anything above 63.50, and remember, why 63.50 is because you have not only one but two patterns. Futures, deep crab, also the bat pattern, big type 2 of that initial resistance, 6100, 6180, a retracement pattern that just absolutely flat out failed. And you might say, people, I've heard it, people say, oh, harmonic patterns, when you see this, they don't work. No, it doesn't take you more than like 3 to 5 bars to know, hey, something larger is going on. Also, there's pattern completion, but after pattern completion, where's the confirmation? And even like 3 to 5 window. Let's say you took a small shot in here by bar 5, you're not going anywhere. By bar 7 or 8, it's, pushing higher. And same can be said for what has gone down in the last week here. Look, 63.54, 63.55 with that kind of confirmation for me. You're checking back, you're retesting, what is it doing? Because this is really the first place since June I would even think about this being any kind of an end point of a summer peak. But you're back here, you're retesting, and what do in this area, which was like 6,300, guys? Retest, blow through, pause, green, pause, big green. I mean, yesterday that was really something. Again, for me that was almost like Bitcoin at 115. And this is a daily chart, but for me yesterday's move on S&P 500 was like, Bitcoin above 115k. That's just a massive bullish engulfing on the daily. Let's see what the weekly, what's that want to do by tomorrow. But again, same deal here. Weekly chart, monthly chart. Are we morphing into this 1618 position here? There's two ways to do it. The type 1 all the way down. Even on the weekly, there's nothing here yet. No confirmation, no dot. So that's all strength. 1618 on that. Exactly. 7023. It's a 7K thing, guys. And I think that's now. I really think that's now. It's not, can we get a pause? Can we get like a 1 week pause? Where might that be? A 3% pullback, something like that? I don't know. Because when you start looking at these spots and then it just doesn't go down, goes sideways, that's harmonic pause right there. Takes a little time to kind of separate those from real valid reversals, but this strength is clear. It's like, how can that go above the hop? Hey, it's exhibiting that type of behavior. Remarkable stuff. So that's 7K, and then SPY. We know that's get your numbers there. I mean, SPY weekly, monthly. This is a part of I think finishing what started back in April. It's just a remarkable charts that look. What's the easiest way this thing is telling us it wants to bypass and fail? There's no confirmation. Nothing is overbought just yet. Okay, and again, there you go. SPY's like that. And that's target 700. We're 613 now, guys. If it takes into November, whatever. That's cool. Okay, let me check in. Mitch is buzzing. Sweet. All right. Give me 1 minute, man. Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna check, make sure my other stuff is ready, guys. We're gonna get Mitch here. Give him a proper holler. Everybody, hold on. Okay, 1 second. Let me bring this in. All right, hold on, guys. 1 more second. Let's give him one more minute here. Bring it on back. If you guys have some markets you want to look at, why don't you shill that away right now? And everyone else, all right, he's back. Everyone else, get over to harmonictrader.com. Register now as a basic member. Okay, get the 2 week free trial. All you need is an email. And everything else as a free member and resources is there. All right, let's get him. Yep, let me get him.
Hey,
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
All right,
What's up, man?
let me bring you in for the real main feed. Okay, everybody. Is he on? Mitch, say something.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Tritos.
Okay, everybody. Proper introduction. I even did a little preparation. Over here, get over to MitchRayTA over on X. Okay, Mitch and I go a few years back now already, and Mitch is the tops of the top in TA, harmonic patterns, and everything else. He does a great integration every night, every day. Just animal streamer, and strongly recommend you want to really dig in. This is especially new folks, new harmonic pattern people. Go check out Mitch Ray over on X and check out his shows over on YouTube as well at nightly. Been long overdue, everybody. Big shout out in the chat for Mitch Ray, please. And Mitch, how the hell are you?
I'm good, man. Wow, appreciate the shout out. Very kind words. Giving me too much credit. I mean, I've been good, man. Just watching these markets be really crazy, especially the altcoin market in the past. I don't know, like 2, 3 weeks has been insane. And of course, with the pullbacks, I mean, I think XRP lost 16% of its value in 1.5 days. Um, a completely appropriate type of pullback because it's just been crazy on the upside. So why not crazy on the downside? So and Bitcoin is just as flat as ever during all this, the markups and alts and the markdown and alts. So I actually think Bitcoin has kind of an argument on the 4 hour for up next, but it would become an invalid argument below $116,800, like for sure. And shot the crab pattern. Was it that we're stalling at right now?
On 4 hour chart, absolutely. And it's the 4 hour has been, I think, super reliable for pattern structures, short term, pausing, stuff like that. I'm posting it now. Um, and there's no doubt the weekly is just ruling the long term trend. And then, for me, I just think this thing is it's just a matter of time because it's annihilated any and all possible bearish scenarios.
Yeah, for now. I mean, going sideways since the 11th. So pretty much 2 weeks of nothing. But the market participants have established some sort of inflection point at 116.8. And I guess the top, that would be the bottom of what you would consider a range. And then the top of the range is, 122.7, 123.1 all-time highs. And you're near the bottom of that range still with a little bit of price action. I can just send you the chart.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a newer development because it's the 4 hour. I mean, like the 4 hour, it's tends to change daily. You get enough data where an entire idea can be invalidated in 24 hours or not because you don't have. I don't think you have too much data
Hold
on the
on,
daily.
Mitch. One
Certainly not the
second.
weekly.
Mitch, 1 second. We got
Okay.
we got a little audio feedback. Hold on or something.
Oh, is it me? Am I too close to my mic or something?
I
I
don't.
pulled back.
Let me see something here. Let me check. Hey crew. Hey chat.
Audio cooked. Oh my god.
Yeah, let me see what's going on here.
They're saying someone said he restarted his stream. He restarted or refreshed and it fixed it.
Okay, let me know, guys. I'm gonna reset you for a second here, just on Mike and Mike. Okay, so hold on, and myself. Okay,
Yeah, sure.
let's
Sorry.
do an audio check.
Okay. Check, man. Check.
All right, let me see here. I'll turn mine. Oh, okay. Mine for some reason is low. Hold on.
Scott's low. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me do. Okay. See. All right. Something must have went down there, but now I'm better. My levels are hitting. And Mitch, say something.
Hello. Hello.
Excellent. All right. Mine should be higher. I'll boost mine a smudge.
I'll scoot mine away a little bit more. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
So let's get back.
my chart is pretty simple, how we are, and I don't know if you can share that, but to me, that's just like kind of data would be like 3.5, 4 days ago, a couple times, and then after the break, that it seems so far that has been success ever so slightly higher low than the low we saw on the 20th and 21st. And so now the price is just holding above that breakout. And so I'm wondering, like the whole, look, dude, technicals is about developing an argument, and the argument can be made with the current data. And if new data comes in, your argument can be completely,
Hey,
I
man.
think my argument,
Mitch, 1 second. I don't know what.
buffering loading.
I I don't see anything on my side. Guys,
No, I have no issues.
I don't see any issues. I haven't had any issues.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Eh,
Hold on. Hold on. Something's. Give it a second. Let me refresh something. I don't know what's going on. This is like gremlin territory.
You probably need a couple more mods
No,
to
no. Other people said.
be
Well,
able to.
I don't know. You got the people that said you were buffering. There should not be an issue. Everyone else says good. All right, let's go, man. So let's get back to it. I think we're good.
Like an argument with technicals and with current data, and you have thresholds for invalidation of your argument. And so I don't know if you were able to show my chart on the screen on YouTube or anything, but it's kind of it gives a visual to what I'm discussing when I'm talking about of the current argument we have on Bitcoin for higher to maybe go test 122, 123 next.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I already discussed the what happened, right? The buyers defended 116. They manufactured a support. There was a supply line. They broke it. They back tested it, and then they confirmed the supply line as a demand line. And even last night, it was kind of sketch. I was getting a little weirded out because of validation threshold. But they rallied it, and then now look at us. I mean, you're good. Like you're still that argument is still valid because the threshold was never hit, and it still looks pretty good here on the 4 hour for maybe a rally. So again, to you know 121.1 for that high from July 17th, but 122.7, 123, 167 would certainly be the target. And if they ever broke that, I mean, simply, that'd be unthinkable at this point. We've never gone. I would just use, Fibonacci this range from the highest point to lowest point. If you wanted to have a target, I mean, $125,000 is your 1272, and then you could just take one fib note at a time. And I mean, a 1618 would be $127,700. So that would be like if this what is the whole thing is like maybe they've developed a range here on the 4 hour, and maybe it's just a pause at the pattern completion zone of the harmonic. And if it's gonna harmonic dud, then this is where it starts rallying to test the old all-time high, and you break it, and then you can continue further into possibly price discovery now in real life. And so I wasn't able to like get this stuff off my chest. So just kind of like I had to sneeze, and I
Yeah.
just got to sneeze. So sorry.
No, I'm. Some people. It might be a YouTube network thing. I don't know. That's what some people are saying on my end here. Still having issues over here.
How weird is that? Because like I was watching the stream before and there were no issues, and now all of a sudden there are issues. Nothing even changed, you know.
Yeah. Luckily, last few weeks I've been all right. Check in with me,
Uh,
guys.
S Real quick, S&P 500 fresh all-time highs right now as I'm speaking to you.
Yeah, that's big, man.
It started rallying. What is it that's doing it right now? Is it Nvidia hitting fresh highs or something? Yeah, close. No, the market drivers that would, what would be the reason?
Uh,
Like, a big
Nvidia's
enough market cap asset,
Well, Microsoft's up six, which is huge. Nvidia's up another almost. Yeah,
with
this
Nvidia.
I
That's it.
this is a math. You got Bitcoin, you got S&P, you got Nasdaq.
Breaking news, all-time highs, NASDAQ futures right now. Yep.
Amen. Like Nasdaq trading, S&P at 6450. Something that I've turned level since, and then back. We have two patterns, but it's been so strong. And then 6350 is it's a hop level off of a crab from December, and then all the way back into the zone. Got confirmation last week. I mean, that was like the first possibility, and we sit here at 6350 and just straight on through. And the only thing that we have here, like Bitcoin, like the rest of them, is I just got the character of a 1618 advance here, and now, and takes you to like 7K is the 1618 on SPY, and for me for
Yeah.
Bitcoin that's like 130. I was saying this when I started today. Um, it's not an easy read, but the signs of the breakout are usually obvious and overwhelming. And
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like, since the gap up May 9th, there's been a really well-established channel. I just posted in the DM.
yeah, there you go.
And I mean, that's just kind of like your overbought and your oversold levels of the uptrend of this nice channel. And so you're looking at maybe an overbought threshold of, 639, 64, 63, 96. Maybe they hit that and there's a little pullback, and it just keeps oscillating the top part of the channel. And if things, if we finally got some sort of correction, oh my God, maybe they take it to the bottom of that channel, which would be probably like 620 or something, which isn't even a big deal. Only for people over levered, they'd get wrecked. But yeah, that's probably just kind of what's going on, right? We just have a channel. We're in the top side of the channel, holding that heart line as support and just rallying. And you got Nvidia and Microsoft that is just like kind of, it's
Rocking
like
it.
the monopoly of gains. You could almost call it that now, because like Amazon's actually doing stuff, man. I mean, Amazon today officially hit an 88.6% retrace and an overhead resistance from December 2024. So that's kind of notable. Like that would be like, oh, the pattern completion zone, price reversal zone of like what would be the candidate for a bearish bat pattern right here. You're at it. I mean, they've actually, a very small reaction occurred right at that 886.
Yeah, zero, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah, 233.50. So that's helping the market rally. Tesla is kind of bounced off its lows. What is your thought on Tesla? Like, I mean, their earnings yesterday wasn't too bad. It was their free cash flow that freaked the market out, which has catalyzed this major drawdown. I believe they started talking about it during the conference call or something, where I think they had an estimated $700 billion of free cash flow expected, and they came out and said they only had like 200 billion of free cash flow, and that's what nuked Tesla. But they was all put into capex, all the gigafactories and stuff, major investments for the future. So, I mean, what is your thought on this 8.56% drawdown right now in Tesla?
please, a little bit more. I mean, I think I'm posting a monthly chart, and I'm just the larger movement on Tesla, especially the last 5 6 years, clear massive monthly uptrend. And I'm just keep looking at the lower end of this channel for places to hit it. And I think we've got a massive type 2 at 267. It's off of this bat pattern, and that's daily. The monthly, it's again this white line is I'm showing this chart here, is against that monthly uptrend. And whether this is suppressed or not, I mean, all the craziness, whatever. Um, I this is like another kind of concept uh, scenario where you're like same like Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin is going to become a thing, and that it's going to have its ups and downs, but the larger trend is up, and it's going to be up a lot bigger in the future. That's the same thing on Tesla, and I just think breaking it down within this larger trend, looking for things exactly like what you have here for us, bat pattern 267. Not only that, coming in for the type 2, which is
Oh
ideal.
man, that'd be so nasty though. I mean, going to 230 again, 240. Oh God,
Maybe, but
max pain.
with this
Yeah.
market, though, I just think a lot of it's been overspill, overhyped to the downside. And even if it got down to 230, even got down, I have confirmation here, possibility like 260, 230. There are, I think there's like a little tiny gap, 240. I just think you're trying to look for the larger completion of the consolidation, the retest, the type 2, the confirmation of the long-term pivot, which is 200 something, for an eventual continuation into, the next 12, 18, 24 months of a hot market, of a market that's going to continue. So we get that type 2 by definition, 267, that seals the deal. We've seen it before. Where was the previous type 2? I think it was on a weekly on Tesla, where we came back, and then once it hit it, I'll have to dig it out. But the Type 2 for me, just straight up, on theory in an ideal scenario, is what I'd want to see mechanically for the larger uptrend to continue, larger channel to be realized. And I think 450, um, 444 is the weekly retest of a big crab pattern. So, we're going to have to return that. And I think we're just taking a longer time to do that. But there's patterns all over the place. We know that the reaction from January was just a bigger type 1. And, we're trying to return it. I'm looking in this area to, I think 267 is a really good number to be targeting and then go from there. But looking for that to end maybe 2, 3 months. Maybe it happens this fall, with the eventual reality to go back to retest the deep crab as like a minimum assessment. I won't go crazy beyond that, but that's kind of the return play I'm looking for, with a daily pattern, bullish pattern, be preceding it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there is a small chance. I mean, it's not $300 if you go back. I mean, that is probably one of the most significant inflection zones that exists on this chart, like ever. I mean, $300, man, the old all-time high from January 2021, major support in December 2021, reversal in 2022. 2023 was a major reversal. I mean, like, if you're in an uptrend right now, since the bottom in March or April, that midterm trend, and you stay above 300, there's like no problems. This is just another opportunity. But yeah, I just wonder if this is real, a real drawdown, and we're going to continue from here, or if it's just like, look, I mean, we had what, the crazy markdown June 5th because the news was down 14%. They broke support with a candle close confirmed, and then immediately 2 days later recaptured. And then, the buyers defended that level again, and now here we are. So bad earnings or whatever, and we're still above it. We're still not even making a. We're still making a technical, like for now, a higher low than what we had at the beginning of the month. So it's not even over technically yet, like in the short term, just because you're down 8.5%. So yeah, it's just interesting. Interesting chart. I think has a long term, like major upside. Just yep, their earnings is like this, man. The kryptonite, like just okay, one step forward, two steps back, or vice versa. So
Yeah, the only problem is it's just not going crazy. That's it. I don't. I think it's a series of higher lows and higher highs, and it's taking its time. I don't see a problem with that. I mean, that kind of longer term building is real bullish. I mean, I don't see anything violating this uptrend anytime soon. And if anything, you're looking for the next jump on point within how this is progressing over the last 5 years in particular, and that's still up. And I'll stick with like the short-term targets on Tesla, but I think there's so many vehicles like this that are great long-term trends, and they're doing great. It's not huge super 10x gains, but this will continue. So I think reach above 450 eventually, but I'll just take it right now. Go back, try to do the type 2 on the weekly here, and just maintain this trend channel. So I welcome any further selling. Let it come in more. The other thing that's really interesting about Tesla, let me turn back all my patterns. You've got a lot of these in these derivative vehicles like the direction daily 2X's and stuff, and the granite shares. You
Oh
have
yeah.
big patterns that somewhere around $9, 650 for you know finishing kind of the consolidation phase. Even though this thing exploded to 37, now back to 10. But there's bullish patterns in there as well. That was the here's the 2x granite share. Basically $14 is a big bat pattern with a couple things. Maybe confirmation at 12. So if Tesla finishes what it's doing, these tick off on one more sell off. That's probably the spot to start looking.
Yeah, I bet GGLL has something similar-ish too. Like,
G
because Google is the other reported, the other Mag 7 that reported yesterday, and it's like in the same type of like channel, upsloping channel, but hit the top side, hit the supply line, and thrusted through it and was unable to sustain prices above it. People, day traders, gonna take profit at open, and they're gonna go fill the gap, which is exactly what they did. And they also back tested, seems like for now, 191.76 on Google from July 9th was regarded as support.
Yeah, that's finally
So,
played catch up. I mean, that thing's been lagging for a while, and now uh, GGLL's looks like the return phase is full on to go back retest prior all time highs with all those patterns. Google itself had a big weekly structure, but that's it. That's okay though. Daily, weekly here, where you're up against, go back retest now. Like 205 on the daily was this big butterfly. The
yeah.
weekly was no, that was not. The weekly was no, that was already a failed shark. But daily, 205 to go back retest those patterns. Not perfectly ideal 1-2, but kind of like that looping thing. That gives you a good target. I mean, that still has a few, like 5%, 7%, the upside before looking at that to kind of finish what this started really only a week
I,
ago.
yeah, I just noticed that Google's high all-time high to its lowest point anchoring the 88% retrace was almost achieved this morning. And it's like $200. That's just confluent with the 886 199.47. So you're nearing that like potential what bat pattern reversal, reaction pause area. So I'm wondering if that, like Amazon just hit its respective 886. Google is about to do it too. I mean, it's not too far off. So
Yeah, that has a big gap too. I would just look at that 886, but also the pattern there with the butterfly that has to get hit. And so the 886, I mean that was so tight against the at 205. That was like the exact 127. That's that's probably going to have to poke prior all-time highs before you can think that scenario is over. And so, I still say that has got a ways to go. And um, the yeah, Amazon's the other one. Finally reaching what I've been saying for a while, which was those bigger numbers again back at all-time highs. I think Google weekly chart, just this looks like a uh, kind of a broadening wedge if it's, one more push higher. Um,
Yeah.
it has just has a lot of potential. I mean, a lot of this stuff, if we look at Google here from 2022, you had that really nice move off the deep crab, and the fact that it went, I wouldn't say exactly, but damn close enough. Of that weekly extension was a 1618, and you've got again this zone here. We're seeing it all over the place, like the 1618, 1902 zone. It's kind of my ideal overspill area where, okay, I'll give it just enough. I'll give it that area where if it's just a normal 1618, it doesn't exceed a 1902. Hasn't yet, but we've had one reaction off of that, a second reaction off of that, and now we're pushing higher. I'm just, I would look at that 886, but you bust through this thing could be something bigger. I just think it's
Yeah, I agree because it's like they already did the type 2 return, and the type 2 return was beautiful. I mean, it manifested into another test of the old cycle top from 2021. And guess what? The sellers failed. And you had that massive bullish engulfing candle the week of April 7th when Trump tweeted. So, I mean, that's like a confirmation low of your previous cycle top. And I mean, like for this company has the lowest PE of all the Mag 7s.
yeah, you read my mind.
Yeah, its fundamentals are unbelievable. Its foothold in AI, great, and they've implemented it very well into, so they're not getting like, there's Chat GPT, but Google's doing a phenomenal job, uh,
Yeah, I mean,
trying to maintain its
they don't have an AI evaluation,
dominance.
but they're a monster in AI. It's like IBM too. IBM's the other one that's, I think, just quietly just raging and becoming such a dominant player in AI and all the other stuff. And I say that as it's down 30, but
Good Lord. Yeah, it is down, yeah,
but
7.7% today. But
that
whatever. I mean, look at the run it
yeah,
went on.
the run has been, I think surprising, and I don't, nothing changes here. I mean, the monthly chart is a pretty sizable back to back. We had a deep crab a decade ago, massive retracement, um, and then another advance. Maybe we'll go over retracement, whatever. But longer term, I remember during the dot com, everyone said, "Oh, IBM's going, they're going to go bankrupt, whatever." They've been saying IBM's going to go out of business for decades. Yet you're here, all-time new highs. Just an example of what these major players are doing is, even more so than trying to chase after smaller players, smaller market caps. I say, hey, IBM down 30, great. Get it down 50, and then let's look for opportunities because uh, everything I'm looking at, especially these type of big market cap players, is projecting it out where we're going to be 1, 3, 5 years from now. It's we're breaking out. That's always a great first sign of progress. Are we just going to continue these longer term channels, bullish channels that have just dominated for 2 decades? Yeah, yeah. I don't think the what we're seeing now. It's great, but as a sign of larger, longer term progress, that's what's got me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and there are other ones like I mean, if we're talking about this kind of subsector, one of my favorites in a way. I mean, maybe it it duds out, but is Intel right now because it has like a pretty textbook Wyckoff accumulation schematic. I mean, talking about, hey man, I want to go long on something, and there's like kind of a technical argument. Now, again, earnings was is today, or yeah, I think they report after the closing bell or something, so it could get nuked.
Yeah,
But my God, dude, it's just someone has been accumulating for the greater part of a year now, between $19 and $25. And I don't think that argument becomes invalid until the price of like 1893 breaks for real. Uh, I mean, you're above the 200-day simple moving average now. You're about to have a golden cross. Like if you don't like collapse on earnings and just have like a breakaway gap downward, the golden cross is virtually imminent. You haven't seen a golden cross on Intel since May of 2023, and after that golden cross, Intel proceeded to rally eventually like 73% in 230 days. So
Mm.
I mean, maybe we're just looking for structures, predictable patterns. We're looking for stuff that's been studied and researched by really smart people. And this one has an argument for that. I mean, it's like, okay, we could just buy Nvidia. Very, very smart, genius, all-time high premium. It's probably just going to keep going, running into earnings. I get it, but if you're just trying to talk about strategy of structures, Intel's pretty good, and it's far off the low point of the range. So that's where you're always trying to take your entries. But I'm just again talking generally about something that someone could be accumulating, at a
Oh, this
very, very deep retrace.
yeah, the software has a massive Type 2 shark on the monthly,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
and all of that
definitely.
confirmation range is like, it's like 23, lower end was like 1945. It's this low 20 area. Nvidia, you're riding continuation, acceleration, da da da. This is, more larger Type 1 recovery. I think if it's can get a little more momentum out of this range, then it would have enough strength to really begin to initiate a Type 1 back to 43.90. That's always been kind of the minimum play we're looking at. I mean, it is a Type 2, but I don't even want to talk about that until we get out of the zone, quite frankly. Almost did it. What was that back in February? What was that 28 was the high, 27.50. Uh, I,
Yeah.
I'm still long this thing. I've been long this long at a loss for a while. I tried to clip. I was like 500 at around 30 or 31. So I've just been holding this for a year and a half now, and I'm thinking of adding. I've been saying that for a while, specifically because I'm here. I do like the setup, and I think I could add into this and catch a larger move if it doesn't really go. That might be able to pull me out of it. But
Well, I'd say adding to the argument, if you look at the monthly, there's like extremely well developed bullish divergence on not just the MACD, but also the relative strength index. Yeah, I mean, so we're talking about those kind of magic variables, the stars align where you got, oh, look, major 88% retrace, bullish divergence on both the oscillators at the 886. 1745 on the monthly is like an actual major level that goes as far back to 1997, 1998. Then it was regarded again in 2006, also 2010. There was an inverse head and shoulders down there. They ended up playing out like a godlike inverse head and shoulders. Wow. That ran us to, 2020 and before it reversed. And so you were just like in the basement, man. Like you're looking for, if you're dumpster diving, this is the one that has like a lot of good variables if as long as it can survive earnings and they don't guide down and stuff. Yeah, that would probably maybe kill the argument. Anytime fundamentals just are abysmal, technicals can fail with the new data. But technically right now, you get the low on the monthly from February 2023, and now you have a lower low and you have significantly lower levels of negative momentum. So that just means like on the most significant time scale, sellers are exhausted. That's what's implied. So, and then on
yeah,
the daily, you have the schematic. Yeah.
these guys aren't going out of business. I'm big on the SOX index. I really think SOX is uh, like we're retesting a big zone. If we can clear out that zone, that's going to probably be the continuation point. SOX has been driving this, and then there's catch up players. There's so many of these chip companies that did get destroyed, never came out of the bear market the last few years. But Intel, I think it's worth the shot. It's just going to be how much time till we get out of this area. I will say this: the monthly HSI here, I was drawing this up, um, just popped, and it popped above the 50 after a little consolidation. So this is something that I've been using, especially in a zone where if I'm in a bullish zone, I'm looking for HSI to already exhibit like a really advanced state of not only inflection from the oversold, but make progress, get above the 50. And this is one of the best setups where you have a kind of like this little jig. You break above the 50, and then I'm showing it has a little retracement and then a follow through breakout that takes you well above the 50 line on the indicator. It's a lot like, looking at the same way like a control zone in RSI. Um,
Hmm.
but that's, you're there, the indicator's showing you a lot of progress. Price is yet to move. So I would suspect that if this does can get a little push out of this zone, it could finally be in a spot to really go for a target one attempt. Um, but again, that's recovery. That's definitely a recovery play versus maybe some others that are retracement plays that are
Yeah,
continuation
like
plays.
AMD. Like AMD hit its highest level today since October, and it's up against a big resistance, an old all-time high from November 2021. I mean, that's been on what a beast run since April. Things
Beast.
recovered at this point 116% in 107 days.
Yeah.
What a win there after such a long extended drawdown from the top in March 2024 to April 2025, like over 13-month downtrend. Yikes.
Yeah, and that was really something we again AMD we were tracking that like 110, 102, 80 went to 79 or 77 and then just ripped it. I still say that's a reaction. Maybe 170 is target 2 off of the big bat pattern on the weekly. Impressive though. I mean, again, and so that I see a recovery on AMD, which was almost priced for bankruptcy at one point, come February or March. But I get the sense that the other ones in the chip sector that were crushed could have a recovery like this one. Um, the other one that I again all time new highs here, and I think it's just going to keep going is Broadcom. Now
Oh
290,
yeah.
and I've got a one
Freaking
six.
crazy.
Yeah, but the 1618 here, this is just taking on a bigger. It's just got a bigger character than just a normal breakout. And it's been straight up. The low was 130. The 1618 now is like 330, 340. I don't see anything here. Stopping that, you hit that. You got oversold on HSI back in actually mid-May, and it just has continued to expand every week. So, it'll be weeks until that rolls out where you even consider that done for now. Um, I mean, just super strong. So that, here comes socks, and again, quietly, because I don't think a lot of people are talking about specifically semis of being. Some people might be, but in terms of like
They
sem,
broke it out. They broke it out and they're back testing the breakout right now. If you go to the SOXX
yeah,
chart,
yeah,
look at that old all-time high from March 7th of 2024, and you can see we had correlation there. I mean, in October last year, also in January before it rolled over, they've broken that and now they're holding it, trying to reconfirm it as support. And they've been doing that for the greater part of this month, the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks almost, since July 7th anyway. The 238 to 240, the big breakout. And I would imagine if that holds, they might run this to 266.93, the old all-time high from July last year. So how crazy is that? We're not even at 52-week highs after this whole crazy run.
yeah.
But yeah, you saw which assets in the semiconductor ETF would be the ones to propagate this thing to all-time highs? Because Nvidia is so high, Broadcom's so high, AMD, they're all like they've all recovered so well. I mean, it's like which ones would do it?
Well, I think in terms of the market cap and weighting getting it, why not the big ones? The Broadcoms and Nvidias of the world are going to do a lot for it. Here you go. Here's SOX components, guys. and all the companies that are in the stocks here. Um, Probably want to go with the biggest volume, even see what they look like. Yeah, Nvidia, Intel, AMD.
I'll tell you one SMCI is probably one. It's a great harmonic mega structure that is not, not in that insane, what do you even do with this territory where there's actually upside potential. What are we going to do with Broadcom and Nvidia at all-time highs? There's just nothing, not much to work with, in terms of upside potential. Yeah, it could randomly go, like it could just keep going and its actual price discovery. We're going to fib extensions, but like, something like SMCI where, plenty of upside. They've like confirmed levels of support, accumulation, visible, golden crosses. The stage is set for like way higher. So yeah, your golden cross just happened like a month ago on SMCI after that huge Garley 886 completed. Sorry, so I'm just like looking at my semiconductors watch list hitting the space bar, and that one stuck out like immediately. Like Marvel hasn't really run. Taiwan Semiconductor is insane. It hit all time highs like last week.
Yeah, I've been still long that. I'm just gonna sit on that. That's one of my.
It's a beautiful channel. I mean,
Yeah,
what a recovery.
that was.
Identical to AMD, right?
Yeah, well, I took some overspill on TSM, but I was always felt better about that and Nvidia and AMD versus or Nvidia and Broadcom versus AMD and Intel. But they just I don't think they're at the top range of their channel. They've moved a ton, yes, but I just think it's such force. It's taking on a larger character. Hope for I'm not saying jump in right here, but certainly you want a retracement and you just want to keep buying these on the retracement. Um, SMCI is one I've been watching because it's a massive bat pattern that
Hmm.
fell just shy of the type 2. I mean, it's really tough, but I also recognize that, like, you go to a daily, go to the 4 hour. I mean, it's just a steady climber. Um, we have right now on the daily, I've got a crab pattern, 53 ish. Target one's got a couple of things where it's like, this could even push as high as 61 to complete this pattern. Uh, but for the first time, you have broken out. You've broken out since this multi-year downtrend. You at 120, got to what 15. Man, I got shook out down there. I was trying to hit that, but like
Dude, they were
30.
like randomly revising earnings, and it was down like
Yeah,
20% in a day, and they were violating the key inflection zone back from 2023. But then it was like, oh look, the sellers broke support, and what were they able to do? Nothing. Like three different times, nothing. And
yeah,
then they recaptured May 8th. They back tested it as support, and then you started running like crazy. May 13th was the break of the zone 3574, and then it's just been like, they came down to fill that little gap from May 14th, May 13th, 14th, and now it's just kind of like the trend is like kind of reversed. It's in an uptrend with the golden cross is like if it hasn't happened on these semiconductors, it's impending on most of them. But this is the one where it's like, hey man, I could easily see this at 63. I could see this at 102 at some point if this actually plays out. Now, earnings, when is earnings? August 5th. So maybe that kills it, but maybe if it just survives earnings, like this is such a great setup. I mean, I look through, maybe a good 12 to 14 semiconductors on my watch list, and this is, I think, by far the best setup. I mean, Intel's got its own thing, right? The Wyckoff accumulation, but not the harmonic. I mean, yeah, the harmonic may be on the grand monthly, okay, but I'm talking about a structure that's a little more recent, November 2023 to December 2024, its completion.
hmm
So, that's just the monthly harmonic over the past a decade. That's who knows how long that would take out. But something like this, we know the resolution would be way more imminent. So yeah, SMCI, and then I even there was one more that looked kind of interesting. Where was it? It was. I mean, Micron's cool because they're back testing a key old resistance support from August as support right now. That's pretty cool, but it on a pullback. So I'm wondering if someone could manage their risk there.
You've had stuff like Marvel and a couple of these other ones actually try to come back after a massive
Qualcomm,
crash. Qualcomm.
Qualcomm looks okay. It's recovering pretty well and it's holding supports and back testing them pretty well.
I mean,
So I'm wondering like if, that's how maybe we get the stocks to the all-time highs, like these laggards, maybe just play some catch up, with maybe Nvidia and them kind of stalling sideways. Maybe they keep going, but just not like crazy.
yeah, definitely,
And
definitely.
that's the way I've been thinking about like how does the S&P 500 get to its like 1618? Is it going to be the market drivers? Is it just going to be like, okay, Google and Amazon and um, you know, the laggards, do they just start performing well now and they start playing catch up? Or is it just going to be more of, okay, it's just Microsoft and Nvidia that are just going berserk and just completely carrying the whole market?
It kind of feels like this thing is going to become another chip wave, where if the SOX is going to do what it's going to do, and maybe AI chip or quantum chip or whatever that they're talking about, that you get those kind of plays that then kind of drag it higher. It just seems like the chips have been what's leading everything. Ah, man, I don't know what's going on here, but that would drag it and kind of like bring up the whole the rest of the tech with it, and then you just follow that all the way up. It's coming together like that. Hold on one
Oh my
second.
God, dude. Like, I just noticed, I mean, Grace Foundation's been kind of typing it in the chat, but yeah, like CMG, they reported earnings and they're nuked. I mean, they hit their lowest levels since April 7th and they're below support now and failed Head and Shoulders. Good God. That's real bad. That's like way worse than Tesla, I think, to be below that level. I mean, you might be, if you don't hold 44 to $43 on CMG, it's like 38.76. Yep. So I think the trend's reversed. This is like kind of, I think this is like kind of reconfirming that the trend reversed with the bearish shark patterns completion December 16th of last year. You made a lower low than the previous lows in April, and now you've rallied, and that rally is short lived. You sell off the back test the inverse head and shoulders, and then earnings, and now you're pretty much marking down. You're going for the lowest daily candle close since January of 2024. So, yeah, CMG, it's cooked, man. I don't know if it doesn't like pivot now, and it was just a bad dream. This is probably going to 38.76 to $39 next. Yikes.
You have a lot of these. I mean, there's definitely a lot of these type of situations that are uh, not trending, but setting up maybe retracement opportunity. So, I'd be looking at something like that as, yeah, eventually it'll come in and trigger something for now. And I don't think that has changed.
Jeez, G Dog said bad action magnet move. I mean, I guess if your B point is from August of 2024, yeah, you're bamming right now, and then like I guess that means that your PRZ for the bat would be like 29.61, which in this situation, look, dude, you're confirming. You're like this move down below support after making a lower high just, at the end of June, and now you're starting to make a lower low, at least on the candle close. You're kind of confirming what we thought, what has kind of been going on is definitely real. Like that's wake up. Like CMG is no longer uptrending. It's it's gonna go through lower highs, lower lows, and that will change when we start getting new data that presents to us higher highs, higher lows. So yep. I mean, it was a fun party though. Mother of God, dude. This thing was stupid. For burritos, are you kidding me? Burritos.
Well,
Yeah, you could.
hasn't failed yet. I think you got to get under that 45, 40 area before that can actually fail.
Yeah, and I mean, but I mean, traders are about to settle up below. I mean, yeah, I think below 47, 48. If you are a market participant, you want nothing to do with this asset. Your form of insurance would be missing out on some returns in order for the asset to recapture $48. and then positive price action correlation to that $48 level, and then maybe take a long. But until then, like that's just, I think it's like hands off until that is recaptured. And that would just be like, I mean, like just the 200 moving average is down sloping now. When's the last time it was down sloping? Yeah, go back to April of 2022. I mean, it's just been below the 50, the 20, the 200, below all the moving averages, below all supports right now. I mean, for the most part, it's bad. It's very
Well,
bad.
it's kind of like Target and a lot of the retail of just they are set up, but they still need to bottom out and turn around. I don't know why Target's lost over
Oh,
half its
dude.
value. We know why, but
Yeah, we know. We know. Last
but is
year.
this it? Is this finally going to get a turnaround here?
I have a thesis or a theory on why it could be, at least for the short term. And it's based on the monthly time scale.
I'm
If you
showing the
go to the
monthly chart.
monthly,
Yep.
it's like a mega bullish dragon pattern with bullish
Uh,
divergence. And yeah, you've got, I mean, just the 200-month moving average is being tested for the first time since July of 2017, and it's been a successful test. And so it's not like, there are better arguments than some. I mean, like a lower low double bottom, it's good because you can get really nice reactions, outperformance on the recovery, but like the trend, the trend isn't really your friend. So it could, crap out and then you mark down violently to go test the lows later. It's not, you want higher highs, higher lows consistently, but you know, it's just it's literally like a monthly seller exhaustion play. That's the
mm-hmm.
way I would categorize it. If you were longing at 91.83, you're longing a support being tested from 2020 with the divergence, with the structure, the predictable pattern where it's like the X, the A, the B, and the C wave. You're like betting that the C wave is completing right here at this support at the 200-month moving average. Even if you Fibonacci the A point to the B point, you got a 113. You got 113% retrace. So then that all of a sudden that's like, is that alt bat stuff? More locally from November 2023 to now, the A point to C point. So yeah, you got a valid fib extension right there. 1/4 of the reciprocal of the 1618. So you could throw that in there maybe. So yeah, that's just the argument. It's not like the best setup, but it certainly is a behemoth, man. That's the size of this dragon. We're talking 1,400 plus days large.
You got to get stocks like that. If they turn around, then you've got things like Russell 2000 to finally do something here, and just that larger breakout. IWM here. I wanted to show this to you because it's making progress. It's nowhere near where Nasdaq and S&P are, but look at just super clear patterns that even with this thing, if it's a laggard, Russell still needs to go 5%, 7% higher to go retest these larger resistance zones here. I mean, Russell's really interesting.
Yeah, well, one of the top weighted assets on the Russ 2000, SMCI. So there you go. That one's set up for way higher.
Is that really?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a Russ 2000 top weighted watch list with about 24 of the best of the largest market cap ones, and yeah, that's in there. Um, let's see. I'm just scanning through my that watch list right now. Yeah, a lot of stuff you just never heard of in the basement, like DOC. It's like a really nice M shape, like that pattern. I mean, at a bottom too. I mean, very much at a bottom.
Health Peak
Yeah,
Rock.
that's like
What's that?
Doc. It's a health peak properties, but you're talking about M shapes and stuff. Like it's very real, and
Perfect
it's not
one
just
too.
like M shapes. Yeah, M shapes developing and holding from 2003 supports. So you're at the lows here, where there's a lot upside of this thing plays out. Look at that, dude. Like what the?
Yeah,
That's a type two.
I just sent it to you. It's on a type 2 on
Yeah,
the monthly where you're just getting confirmation now. That's
yeah,
interesting.
that's crazy. Yeah. And then locally, though, I mean, like for someone who doesn't have the patience for an M shape like that to play out, like you have an M shape within, like you can see that on the type 2 return, the local form of confirmation with your where your arrow is, that's its own M shape, like on the daily, visible on the daily.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, so that's just another of the Rust 2000, top waiters that looks pretty prime to me, man. I might be crazy, but that's real. You could like think about it. You take some, if there's even an options market for it, there might not be. It's got some volume. I mean, 2.5 to 6 million volume, but some what call options, some leaps on something like this. I think you take a small risk with some cheap options that are like long dated, and you'll probably end up winning on something like this.
Yeah, like another Archer Aviation.
Yeah, yeah, dude. That one incredible. That was a legend. You can't get better than that. If someone can find a setup that's as good as that, like, we'll pay you a ransom almost. Just kidding, but yeah, those are so rare to come by because there's so many aligning variables right at the area you want it to appear. It's perfect.
You were the first one I heard ever say that name. I
It's our community, man. That's why I'm live every day for 7.5 years because it's like I'm just trying to teach people this language, and there are a lot of people out there that respect that and take it to heart and do put in the work to learn what we've learned over all these years, and they become proficient in identifying the things that we look for. And then it's just a major form of reciprocity where it's like, okay, I will do everything I can to teach you technical analysis, risk management, all this world. And in return, voluntarily, they will find insane setups and post about it in the community, in the Discord, or while I'm streaming. Even they'll tip or something, and they'll say, "Hey, look at this," and it's like, "Oh my God, I can tell that you've invested in yourself. I can tell you know this language. I know
hmm
how you. I can see that." So it's a wonderful thing. I think this is like kind of what the internet was specifically designed for. Like one person, a couple people learn something the right way, and then they instill it to thousands of other people, and that in turn, elevates their lives, and those people will want to continue that, helping others. And so, yeah, this is what it's about. There's so much purpose to this that I truly love it, man, and it's an honor getting to hang out and uh, just do this with you and everyone else that cares about this little niche because it's a very dry, boring subject matter. But I think the real ones kind of get it. So sorry, I just went on like a little
No,
tangent there.
that's absolutely that's amazing. I want to. Is this something you're looking for? Continued higher prices? I mean, because it has
Oh,
been responding.
Archer.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a trade setup, but I'm kind of concerned now with that really major rejection you got a couple days ago. I mean, the follow through a little bit. The argument is valid for higher until they break 977. Then I think you're cooked. I think it's like the shark pattern that turned into the bullish 50
hmm
has now turned into a shark pattern with a type 2 return. Like that's now the
Okay.
new data. And
Genius.
that's concerning because that means that could be taking us back to the sevens, $7 for another test there. Which, look, I mean, the
Fuck
buyers, they
that.
tried. Yeah, they tried so hard. And that's pretty tremendous failure. And dude, when new data presents itself, an argument can become completely invalid. I think you now have an argument on both sides. The argument's valid for the buyers until 977 is taken out by them. And I don't think you can truly be mega bullish again until buyers recapture 1183. So that's where we are. We're kind of in this purgatory, not sure how we're going to resolve because you now have like I guess that's what happens, right? you're in a good trend. So that's one thing that the buyers have behind them. Good trend, higher lows only. But now, just this confirmation high right at the 113% retrace.
Yeah,
Um, and
1340.
below the overhead resistance from December 2020. That's the big breakout point. They couldn't do it. So, yep, 50 or 50 is valid still, kind of with a type 2. But
I mean,
now there's a type 2 of the short.
the longer term chart though looks pretty juicy. I mean, this thing is
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
off of the big post IPO crash, capitulation. Okay, you build it back for a year or two, great. And now, I mean, just going off of the where we're at currently, you do have a bat. I think maybe you hit the all-time 886 of that range of eventually maybe trying to retest all-time range. I don't know. I've been a deer in headlights on this thing, and it just is interesting. So I'll wait. I was posting there is possibly another 4-hour setup on Archer. It's probably just under $11. As you know, you're still maybe like probably not even till tomorrow to consider it. But this thing is interesting. This is something that you clued me in on, and I still watching it because I think something like this, if it is crazy and a huge winner, it does spectacular things. So I'm watching it. There's been I've had this list of things that I think a lot of people are following some of these hot stocks that some completely missed, like ASTS and Rocket Lab. I mean,
Oh
those
my God.
still
Yeah.
amazing shit. I mean, it just
But then now it's RKT.
are
That's and then QBTS and RGTI, the quantum computer sector, subsector. Like
Rocket
those are
Rocket Companies. Isn't that? I thought that was
RKT.
damn.
That's yeah, Rocket Companies. It was doing stuff. It like broke out, and then I guess it had just a bad couple days. I mean, look. I mean, yesterday it hit the highest level since October, and yeah, it's had a big pullback. I mean, a pull big. They're trying to back test 1511 as support now for the first time since breaking it because it's been a resistance. I mean, a multitude of times for the past 2 years. So I think RKT looks okay. I mean, it's like a bunch of higher lows. That's a good trend since 2022, right? I mean, and they
Yeah,
put in it's like a dragon. The dragon, they broke the first foot of the dragon was January this year. Second foot of the dragon was April to May, and really nice positive price action correlation to 1137. And the dragon spine was broken and even back tested throughout this month, and now they've kind of finally started rallying it. But yeah, you just hit a 1749 resistance, and there was some supply there. So I think this is good as long as it stays above like 1350 RKT. But yeah, it's not in the Rocket Labs, QBTS, Rigotti, RGTI. It's not in that category
yeah,
because those are like parabola. Those are like, oh my god, these are bubbles. Hey man, we're in the 1990s, and the quantum computing bubble will pop one day. But good luck, good luck timing that because you will get murdered. You will be, homeless. But by the time it pops, if you're trying to time when it's over. So yeah,
yeah,
QBTS though had extremely humble beginnings and going back to reciprocity of teaching people like this language and like GDog, and there were like several others that really were, we had maybe looked at it, found it with the type 1 reaction on ACHR, and like you kind of forget about it. You look at thousands of assets, and then that's the beauty of having a massive community behind you that they will help you remember. Hey, remember all-time highs in the S&P right now.
yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I
We're
was just
pumping,
about to say,
pumping, dude.
just about to
Bitcoin
say.
nearing its highs of day right now.
Yeah,
Beautiful
let's go.
looking on the 4 hour.
Let's go. Yeah, looking good.
So sorry. Yeah, just interrupting. Breaking news.
No,
Nasdaq
great.
closing in too. But like QBTS was another one where it's like, hey man, I cannot identify all this stuff on my own. Like there's just too many charts out there. And then like and then someone says, hey man, could you look at QBTS? It looks kind of okay. And then you look at it and it's like, oh my god, dude, back in August 2024,
Again, yeah.
like it was the perfect bullet sharp pattern, and then they showed classic accumulation through rising valleys, and they recaptured this 2023 low, and then it was gone, hit all three targets, and then has gone up like hundreds of percent since the traditional targets were achieved. Bull pull bull flag recently broke out of, hit all-time highs on the close yesterday.
Yeah.
Fresh all-time highs on the NASDAQ futures chat.
Yeah,
Let's
this is
freaking go. Hype in the
insane.
chat. Bitcoin
Insane.
is at highs, nearly
There
highs
you
of
go.
day. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it driving? What is upright? Is it Nvidia and Microsoft, I
I
guess?
think
Let's
it's
see.
yeah. I mean it's those.
Nvidia.
I mean
Yep. Nvidia. High of day.
yeah.
Microsoft.
Microsoft
Not quite high of day.
getting there though. I mean it's so
It's
close to
not Meta.
well Microsoft's
Amazon
almost
kinda.
all-time new highs like a scratch away. What
It's
was it?
not Tesla.
One 514.50. It's almost 513.
I think it's a broader move. It's a broader market move. It's not the
Yeah.
drivers outside of Nvidia, maybe, because Nvidia is at highs of day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not really doing anything. So let's see. We
It
got
just
like
continues.
A ALB, Las Vegas Sands up today. These are top gainers on the watch list. AMD, AZA, AutoZone's unbelievable. LHX is like a aerospace defense. They're at all-time highs today, up 2.4, 2.5%. PayPal up 2%. Uber. Yeah, just a broader market move that's causing this all-time high again. So yeah, wow,
Yeah, looking
beautiful.
good. Yeah.
Oil stocks,
Absolutely.
oh my God, like see Chevron going for its highest daily candle close since April 3rd, possibly April 2nd. I mean, beautiful off the there were a beautiful structure. There was a beautiful structure developing in May on these oil stocks, and now they're reversing, and they've been reversed, and they're marking up now, and it's beautiful to see. Good TA respect on them. Let's
Yeah, they
see.
got oversold there back in that whole fiasco back in June. And
Yeah, at Wells Fargo all-time high. So bank stocks are
yeah,
doing
just
things.
absolutely
Yeah,
exploding. I mean,
Bank of New York Mellon all-time highs like every other day, if not every day.
Wells
Good
Fargo is
God.
crazy because you look at that long-term uptrend, and this is a massive. It's not just a breakout. I mean, it's just such a massive breakout. Just taking out like multiple piercings here, with another one where just this is a larger kind of take and just sign of evidence of where we are in this market, even on a broader scale of here's Wells Fargo, big old stodgy bank, breaking out,
Yep.
ripping, and then let's connect some dots of X, A, B here on this is on a monthly chart, guys. Monthly chart, perfect 886 rejection down for the C. And now we go 1618, price discovery for minimum deep crab, which is like, that puts you at 95. You're currently 84. And if we get even 1902 off of the monthly, just kind of build that zone. It's 95 to maybe as high as 108 as the large get an idea where this is going, and it's all of it connecting dots higher, higher. And in something like Wells Fargo, that'll push the Dow, that'll push them all. S&P,
Yeah, it's not just, banks, but I'm looking at dude, if they can just if they survive earnings and don't like melt down or anything, like look, I'm posting this chart to you. Look at this channel on Microsoft, or I'm sorry, Mastercard, MA, my bad. That look at the channel, the trend. Look at the 200-day moving average being tested,
yeah,
forming a support. They're breaking the heart line today.
that's
Like
good.
you look, this looks like it's ready to just go 600 plus dollars and beyond. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Credit card companies.
yeah,
I just don't.
yeah. I don't. It's absolutely just a trend continuation environment. Hold on, all over the place. I'm having a problem with my mic. I don't know what the hell's going on. I've had some bugs
Sounds okay
all
here.
session. Yeah, I just
I haven't heard anything bad.
my levels drop. I don't know what's going on, but my levels drop automatically. I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I totally agree. Now, final, my just kind of thought to you. Um, what do you feel? How do you feel about a 1618 price discovery argument across the board? S&P 500, QQQ, um, the SPY to 700. We're breaking out QQQs to six something, 650. These are all 1618 extensions.
Yeah, I mean that's what this stream we've been talking about. Like, how do we get there? Like what are the assets that get us there? Is it going to be more of the same, or is it going to be reallocation, rotation?
What
Is
about
it
in
going to be a
terms
broad?
of time? Can we do it
Oh man,
this
well that's
year?
that's my that's the thing. I don't know. I mean, like time wise, right? Because what if we correct 5-10%, and it could very well happen this year, but it might not happen until the end of the year. Like into Q4 or something. But it's ripping right now. I mean, there's been no breaks, no pullbacks since April. This has been historical. Never in any of our years on this earth have we seen a recovery this fast. This blew the COVID crash recovery out of the water by far. I mean, in half the time, it recovered the same rate and is beyond now. It's so crazy. So I just feel bad for the people that are unable to participate in this market to reap the, you call it gains. I just call it keeping up with or outrunning inflation, because the monetary debasement going on that's been going on is criminal. And I think it's so bad that it will cause political unrest. It will create extreme, uh, it will continue to create extreme movements against capitalism almost, because you think about half the of America is not involved with these financial instruments to keep us above above water. Because I mean, are these companies really worth that much more, or is it just not, like everything's getting debased? I think it's probably the latter. Like gold, is it really worth 33.68, or is it just like what it's paired against the US dollar's purchasing power? Probably that. So
Yeah,
half the country not involved with that. So they're just working wage jobs, or they're on government assistance. That's also getting taken away. You can see what's happening, which is good, in a way, because it's entitlements are, there's a reason why our cities and our roads and our infrastructure in this country has completely fallen behind, communist countries in a lot of ways. So, yeah, I just think that half the country's screwed, and they're not going to have many outs here, because the cost of food and services and goods that are like necessary, they won't be able to afford. And I don't know what's going to happen to social cohesion when that occurs, because it's not stopping. It's only getting, I don't know if it's getting exponentially worse, but it feels like in the past 5 years it has gotten rapidly worse, since 2020 for sure.
I see it in the
Even
charts. No, I agree with that, and I think um, the part of this acceleration is absolutely that. Run with it and just use that as a backdrop for any strategic thesis. It's critical just to run with that. If we're going to get that money pump, go with it, and unfortunately, the rest is going to happen whether you're in or not. But I would suggest playing this whole move, yeah, I think it is. And you're talking like the next 12 to 24 months, is you've got massive inflationary, asset inflationary vibes already flashing now, to where you're taking targets that go, might be unthinkable levels, but just stick with, minimums, measured moves, 1618s, all of that points higher.
Yeah, you've got a raging animal spirit market going on right now, clearly. And we're just trying to figure out you know, how are the index funds going to get to their fib extensions? And we're just looking for the assets that are going to maybe help it, and maybe they're at like some decent value areas, easy to manage risk areas, maximum upside potential areas, versus like, okay, dude, let's just buy Nvidia calls. Well, you could do that and you might get away with it because it's effing Nvidia and it's unbelievable, and it has its own godlike channel too. Like I'll show you this. This is like a crazy channel that has stupid upside in it. No one would even believe it because it's so high right now. But I mean, if you want to talk about getting to the overbought threshold of like a channel, you're talking like 189, and then the 1618 is 193 anyway. So
Hmm.
like it could be contained within this massive channel since April, the bottom, and see that 1618, which I think would really help the market get to at least one of its fib extent, at least the 1272, right? Unless I don't think we're there yet, right? The spider.
Not quite.
No, we're not there. Nah, see, I think Nvidia running to its 1618 would probably almost by itself help the spider get to a 1272, right?
Nvidia is such a monster, and we had that oversold trigger back in May, and man, it has been straight up since then, and that's why I think this is another wave. 1618 minimum.
Yep. I
I've been
mean,
saying
it's
190,
crazy.
195. Even get the overspill, puts you like 205 ish, 210 ish, like a 1902, like 213 to be exact. So
Yeah, and the beauty is they don't even have to worry about earnings season because they report not during earnings season. I think it's sometime in August they'll report. So that's like you don't even have to think about it.
it's a hell of a breakout. I mean, no matter, you just can't argue against the breakout and say this thing is done anytime soon.
Yeah, it's probably not. Wow. Intercontinental Exchange about to hit all-time highs. Going for the highest daily candle close ever, but I mean about to hit it. Charles Schwab going for its
Let's see.
highest daily candle close ever.
Look at
Wow.
that.
Breaking that February 2022 peak. January 2022. Let me
Man, look at
confirm the
that.
top. What a trend. These bank stocks. Wow.
That's amazing. That's ice. Yeah, they're ripping. JP Morgan too was guys, this I know these charts look insane, but they're not coming down anytime soon. You need to see at least a bearish candle before you even think that, and it's a continuation over continuation. It's nuts.
Yep, they were never really in too much trouble. If you remember we had the banking regional banking crisis in Q1 of 2023, and those some of those what was it, the KBC regional banking sector ETF or whatever. It was just nuked, and a lot of these mega cap, already nationalized banks virtually right from '08. Like they didn't have any problems. Bitcoin also did very well during that time, but now it's just looking they're continuing since that bottom. Like they haven't stopped. I mean, they've stopped for sure, but they've only pulled back to make higher lows and they've run again. Even if they make 886s, they're making higher lows and they just go. And now we're just making higher highs on all of them.
Yeah, even the Ubers of the world, all these are breaking out. Airbnbs are just they look like they're ready for a new leg, and that's why I come back to the Qs and the Nasdaq, and I just really since about 2 or 3 weeks ago, especially after the June move, I said, all right, it's time to play for this 1618 continuation. Nasdaq again, the futures that's like 26.5, 27 off of that March correction. Yeah, 20. It's 26.5, something like that. And there's nothing we've seen it before. So that goes now. Again, and with all the backdrop of uh, bullish sentiment, it's not like we've got a slug president not going for growth. We got balls to the wall growth policies trying to take
Yeah,
effect.
and the markets are forward looking, so they're not looking at right now, which is the tough part. Where the layoffs, there's so many layoffs, and this is the restructuring part, and this is where the investment's made, but there's no return on investment for going to be years because those plants. I mean, it's going to take so long for plants and jobs to come back here. But because at the same time, I mean, if they bring jobs back for all these plants, I mean, that'll take a long time. But at the same time, right now we have like the AI disruptor in like the coding space, the tech space, where I mean, we literally have over 200,000 plus layoffs this year alone, and it's only late July. So I mean, Intel, everyone, Google, there thousands and thousands of people just getting uh, laid off from jobs, and it's like those jobs will probably, when the recovery happens, they will not come back because AI, companies are just maximizing their efficiency.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And
how
so
they
that's
go
just
higher.
another disruptor. That's a disruptor of the future too. We're talking about monetary debasement, and you got companies going hyper efficient and having the tool of AI to get them there. And it's like, okay, so people go to school for coding. Well, no, coding no longer is a thing that you can make money doing anymore. At least think about in 5 years from now. My God, new college grads now are unemployed at their highest rate, I think, like ever. Um, so you got seasoned people that are getting laid off that can't get work again because that's the industry. You got new people graduating that can't get work. It is really tough. Like the job market apparently is like the worst it's been since the Great Depression, or at least '08. I think in a lot of ways it's worse than '08. Just because it's the sector disruptor. That was back when they were like learn to code. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
It's come for the coders too now. So hey, wanna then the coders should learn to do trades, like become a plumber or a contractor or an electrician now, I guess, because that's AI is not going to take that out anytime soon, probably. But yeah, just we have a crap load of disruption uh, going on in the economy. So, but the stock market is not the economy at all.
No, absolutely not. I just think it's, it is an astounding recovery. We're hit the top end here. Literally yesterday, took out some S&P and NASDAQ, took out big levels. And so I would say if you're going to fail it, next couple of days into next week, this just continues. I don't know. Where's going to be the summer retracement? I'm looking for a summer peak, at least retracement to start somewhere in here, but you need a couple of days to roll over, a couple of days to break down, and just straight up. So,
Yeah, I mean, not sure what's it obviously would be some sort of data driven catalyst like no CPI, or it was something like one of the job reports or something, but that's like driven the price higher. Like we had a bad jobs report last month, and market ripped higher because that just means that the probability increases that we're going to get an interest rate cut. But just could you imagine? Like people are screaming for like, Trump too. They're screaming for interest rate cuts while the market is doing this. That is like recipe for disaster. That's like super inflate. You want super inflation? That's how you get it. You cut interest rates with the stock market trading at its all-time highs in like this face melting rally. Like
but that's what's shaping up. That's what is right in front of us. Early signs are already there, and then bring in something like that, yeah. And then those 1618 targets get hit within months and not a year or two. That's what I think is
yeah,
going
but
on
then we
myself.
go into blow off top 1999
Doesn't
stuff, and you'll
matter.
have probably PTSD from that.
Yeah, but from where we are now, that's any final target is a ways off. I mean, crazy 3618s, ways off. So, but I think that is what the early signs are showing us. Daily, weekly, monthly bars here are just screaming right through. Nasdaq right here on the daily, top end 23,146. Okay, just bypassing. 5 days later, 6 days later, it just keeps bypassing. So, I mean, it's early into that. I'm hoping, can we get a 3-5% retracement? I would love it. But what you guys are seeing right now is just massive, undeniable buyer demand allocation flooding in.
So seller strike, dude.
I guess they don't have any reason
Unless
to.
it's Tesla. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
I
there are
don't
a
know.
ton of have nots on this market still. But Yeah, the big winners are doing it. I like how Google bounced off that 191.76 level. That's pretty big deal technically. Um, Really lackluster performance on earnings, but they just fulfilled things that needed to happen. Gap fill and bullish back test of key level from a year ago. Yeah, Google's still like my play. I've been in it, and it. I was fortunate enough to participate in that 10-day in a row win streak, which was its one of its top four rallies in history. And now it's just held through earnings, just because conviction of its low PE, where it is in AI, its
Hmm.
revenue. And I mean, it's just like crazy to think about Google, the most used website in the world, and then they own YouTube, which is the most used and watched media outlet in the world. It's just insane. And the fact that they're not at $200 plus to me, and the 160s was like, that's crazy. And I posted a trade setup once buyers recaptured 168, where it's like, hey, they're confirming a bottom here, the lower low. They've done this before where they try to overshoot it, and that's like they're trying to grab liquidity down there, the big boys. And that was the argument. The confirmation low at 168 was the argument for the long, and it took a while, but I mean, since then, I mean, like it's up like only 15% in 29 days. And I know that sounds pathetic, right? Boomer, but like, any sort of leverage or a call option is wonderful. My call options are up well over 100%. I think they're up 125% today, as of today, because they're up 2%. But it's just like, I think this will accelerate. I think like Google will play catch up with Microsoft and Nvidia for sure.
Yeah, it's on a
But
run and big
yeah, but
targets.
there was like value. There was value on it a month ago.
Yeah.
There's like no value on a lot of them. Like on Meta, no value, premium, right? There's either value or there's premium. Looking at a chart, and Amazon's now at high premium. I mean, Google, I guess, is technically at a higher premium because it's near the 88% retrace. But Meta, you had no chance as a swing trader to, unless you're talking about April. April, there were godlike amounts of opportunities. You had spring back tests, you had technical indicators, you had a weekly dark piercing line reversal that was identified. I even tweeted about it. I mean, that was the chance to make the most amount of money, the best setup. But now it's like, well, what do we do after that? So okay, well, Google was probably in the 160s,
Yeah.
and I think that's letting that ride. And Tesla, yeah, again, if we can hold $300, man, it might just have been a bad dream. Like it's the end of the world for Tesla.
No, I
But
don't.
if
I'm
what if
not of that. I'm that this is almost over. Even if it goes under 300 by a lot, that would be still a big opportunity. So,
but if it doesn't go under 300, see, I've got this like I don't like put too much weight on like immature or non-developed, underdeveloped wave structures like the but I just like look at where like the wave structure that currently exists on Tesla that is still valid until they take out $300 is like a potential bearish deep crap where you've got the B point June 23rd, the X points May 29th, May 30th, A point obviously June 4th or 5th, and if the C wave has completed and you stay above 288 long enough, I mean, the target's like 427 for a 1618, confluent with a 200% retrace from the B to D measurement. So that's like TA Tetris because
mhm.
your overhead resistance up there. So I don't know how much, if you put much weight into it. It's almost like you're like a dragon using the C wave completion. You're trying to take that lower risk long, or I guess maybe a little higher risk long on the C point. I'm kind of looking at Tesla like that right now still, and that argument like okay is getting threatened for sure, but it's not invalid until they break the 289, 288 level, that C point from July 7th. So I don't know if you how much weight you put on that like the wave structures that have just haven't quite gotten there yet. I'll send you.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I've got it up here, and yeah, on the 4 hour for sure. I just the perfect scenario is lower to for that
yeah.
final test. One more test, cinch it, and be done. I mean, a lot like it did back at like 140, 150. It did a bit hard down, and then it just didn't look back. I think that's the same kind of deal that it's setting up for. I would embrace it. I would love to see that go down another 10%. That's all you need.
Well, Dave Portnoy would be underwater because I know he bought on July 7th because he was like, this isn't going to last. And it didn't until today. But yeah, no expectations. Not even worried about it till it breaks 300. And then, breaks 300, then it's going to get to your target areas probably. And yeah, then it'll be better later. It won't be sooner. So I think it holds 300 sooner. Like doesn't get violated, then like sooner enough, we're going to 400 plus. So no, like I would say this after today, there's not many people out there calling for a $400 Tesla because that 8.6% drawdown, breaking a channel demand line. I mean, that kills sentiment. So it's like that's the least expected thing now is a $400 Tesla anytime soon. So interesting.
I agree with that. I just where's the final inflection? And if we could get it one more lower, let everyone throw it out. Let's go. That would be it. So yeah, I agree with that though. I mean, a lot of these are setting up. Some are there, all-time highs. Others are, getting ready to make a recovery run, and then we go. Yeah, I don't know.
Yep. We didn't, one thing we didn't talk about was Apple, the worst performer of the Mag 7.
Yeah,
And like earnings coming up next week, late next week, I believe. Let's see it's Thursday of 1 week from today. Apple earnings, and I mean, you talk about a Rubik's cube of a situation on it. Like arguments could be made on both sides, like where you've got a well-established downtrend the whole year of 2025 once that beautiful deep crap completed in December. And since then, it's over. Like lower highs, lower lows, and now we're starting to make higher lows, but we're not necessarily making higher highs. We're below the 200 moving average. We're below 216, 220 inflection zone. Um, Impossible to manage risk. The time to manage risk was taking along at 196 to 198 when it was holding it, and then maybe taking a little profit where you are now. But it's like, what's going to happen? Is this going to have some, like, are they going to come out with some sort of breaking revolutionary AI technology that's going to like give us a breakaway gap to the upside, or is it going to be nothing burger earnings? Or I mean, what do you? This is like the biggest question mark to me because like if they can reverse this trend, it could be that's no brainer on how the S&P would see its fib extensions. This would definitely play a role, like a major role, if this could get going. But it's just been doing nothing since April.
it's a delayed reaction. It'll get there. You look at the weekly chart, you go back 5, 6 years, this thing is just on a train track to higher prices. And if anything, NASDAQ's at all time new highs, and Apple is 30% off its all time highs. So when that plays catch up, then the rest of
Only
it goes.
17% now, thankfully.
Well, yeah, but high to low. But
Yeah,
that
true. Yeah,
but
true.
that was just another weekly, monthly channel trend retest in the ever progressing stair step process to higher prices. And I think Apple is probably trading 260, 280 by January. It'll, I don't look at that, um, you know, uh, don't look at any story beyond what's the trend last 30 months. Always a good way to start. Last few years, up or down. And despite the lack of activity, this thing just keeps pumping within that channel. And it's not going to be gangbusters, but it will just continue. So two.
Well, what do you think about this? The harmonic question would be, from April of last year was the X point, and April of this year was the D point. Clearly, some sort of bat pattern. Could maybe be a shark, whatever. either way, 886 completion. That's a type 1 reaction. I mean, is there any argument for a retest of the 170s for a type 2 return like we might see with Tesla with its own M shape? Or,
Yeah, there's a guard. We have a bat, like you said last year. Also a deep crab at 185. That's my point. 185. Can we hit 185 and then
yeah,
that
yeah,
that
yeah.
would be it? I mean, that would be the end all be all. Retest the pattern. The pattern triggers the continuation from 185, and then you never look back from there. That's really what it seems like that's shaping up. Um,
You
but it
just go back there, man. It's so rare that you're getting like local confirmation lows on major bottoms on Apple. Like look at like December 2022, they took it down there and it's like V shape. Like you just never came close to retesting that again. Uh, so if we're going for 185, that means that they probably need to have terrible earnings now. When you want to get it over with, we'd want it to like, I mean, hey, by at least October, we're at 185, right? If things go sour for Apple.
Yeah, I mean maybe and maybe a quick flash. But I do agree with you. You know, we're already at the low end. We might not get all the way back down there, and so maybe it's another 2 or 3 weeks of higher prices where you have to say, throw in the towel. We got to run with this continuation because,
Yeah, that channel right there, you're an oversold, man. You're
yeah,
like, it's over. Like, it's almost like the type 2 return was from May 7th to June 18th, like the highest type 2 return ever.
it
You
fell
know,
shy. It fell shy on the daily.
too much demand. Yeah, support resistance from July 2023, December 2023, that was just too strong. So it's like, hey, sometimes you can't get measured moves because of support resistance. And that might be the case, hopefully, with Apple. But I don't know. Like maybe this is normal because what have they done at all that has been right? The market's forward looking. What are they producing quarterly outside of making a bunch of money from their established business model? Like what are they doing to make this price run higher outside of that? Like okay, well, NVIDIA's got Maxwell chips. Okay, well, that's like AI, two different AIs, and one AI teaches the other AI how to better itself inside the GPU. My God, that's like never before heard of. That's revolutionary. Well, Apple, what are they going to do? Like, what can they even say? Like, what can they come up with? Uh, you got Tim Cook there, Auburn grad, and they can't innovate. There's nothing. It's just the same model that Steve Jobs had.
I think it's just a slower mover. You got different speeds going on, and Nvidia, it's high speed drag race. This is your slower, kind of endurance 24-hour type of Le Mans. It's going to take time, but I think overall you got money flooding into the markets. It is always, you know for the last couple of years, in my opinion, it's always been about an asset allocation story. So Apple will get its allocation. It's got to do its work, get out of here. But I don't think it's a problem, no matter what. Just by default, they're the massive player, and there's going to be better winners, but this will still maintain its uptrend. And I don't. This bull trend is not ending anytime soon, unless something dramatic happened. I don't see it. And you're down on the lower end here.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
just continue it. Continue, and that kind of recovery is what's going to also drive NASDAQ to 1618.
Definitely. Yep, this Google, maybe Tesla recovers, but if not, then we'll leave it to the semiconductors and maybe some. I mean, obviously the financial sector and the energy sector. Energy sector is looking good. Good new established trend, uptrend, and then obviously the banking sector, financial sector is already doing its thing, helping. I think that's that, and the financial sector today is pretty much what's driving stuff, and with Nvidia and Microsoft. So
It all screams easier money coming. I mean, really soon, and I think it'll be by the time it becomes obvious, like, hey, we are having insane money printing, productivity, asset allocation, it's going to be at these levels. I think it'll be at the 1618s by the time people wake up. So I don't know.
Yeah.
The signs are there for me. Like my jaw dropped, and just respect the strength.
Yep. Let your winners ride.
Yeah.
And well, I guess we haven't even talked about crypto, like literally at all, outside of Bitcoin at the very beginning. I mean, at least when I was on. I know you were talking about it before I came on. So
Yeah, I think it's the crypto story is has Bitcoin's sealed its deal. It's just a question of like, what are you shooting for? Are you shooting for two, 300,000 in a year, 6 months, or are you just gonna play it for a million by the end of the decade? At
uh,
this point,
Grok's saying 250 by end of year. That's AI's prediction, but predictions, bro, are just like buttholes. Everyone's got them. So I mean, like,
yeah, but if it does the same 3618 measured move as it's done the last couple of cycles as a minimum, that gets you to 210, 220. And
yeah,
for me, I think it's already been triggered. Uh, and I think there's Bitcoin and there's everything else, and and,
yep.
and that has to be distinguished. But
Bitcoin is not crypto. Yep, crypto is everything that is not Bitcoin. Yep.
and the rest is a case by case basis where 95-8% of it's garbage. Still, that doesn't change.
Yep. Yep. And people, I would imagine, were probably freaked out the past today, last night, and then yesterday's price action. The only thing I can advise or tell you to do is just stay calm and look at the weekly charts. Don't focus on the 4 hour, the daily right now. Just look at the weekly, like something like Dogecoin on the weekly. Oh my God, it's down, 12% on the week now after a 38% rally last week. Before that was a 16% week. Are you kidding me? So up like 50 plus percent, 60% in 2, 3 weeks, and you're down 12%. And they're doing is trying to like back test old resistance from March as support. It's like, look at that. I mean, I think Dogecoin was one of the most specimen harmonic frameworks that exists in crypto. Like existed, and this is why I posted a trade setup on it. It's up 60. It was up 60 plus percent from the entry. It hit one of the 3 or 4 targets already, and target two was 34 cents, and yeah, we fell short. But I mean, look at the weekly. Who cares? What do we have a candle like this on the week, and then next week we even pull back a little, and then we engulf, and we get a 3 bar play right here. It just to me, I posted the in DMs the stuff your framework. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, Doge is just type one recovery. I mean, I talked about it. I said I didn't want to have anything to do with it. At 14 cents, I just didn't care. And it did a beautiful type one, but that's it. It hit target one, 27 cents. I would say it's done. Go back now, and it's got a shark there. Go back to 20 cents, and then do it again. I mean, great move, but that's it. And I think that's most of crypto where you get these kind of patterns. You have to be aware of it. You're not going to moon, but you'll do a great type one as long as you take it to target.
So you don't think that June was the type two return?
Not
Like
all.
it looks like it met the criteria, right? From the
Kind.
high point to low point, the
It did.
reaction
It,
almost hit a 382.
maybe almost. You could argue. I think it's more about the weekly scenario. What's the weekly going to do for us? And I mean, weekly channel is building, but up down, still I think in charge. Where Dogecoin will get there. Maybe back to 25, 30, upper 20s, 30 cents ish. Um, but I don't see Moon. I don't see that like being the launch point. If anything, we've got weekly oversold at the moment. So um, I'll watch it. I'm definitely watching it. I still
I
think
think
there's better
I think
crypto.
we might have we very rarely or seldomly do we have a disagreement on charts, but for me, I see a type two return of that bat pattern. Gartley and you have bullish divergence on the second low, and that was trading above the 200-week moving average, and the key 16 to 18 cent zone was defended for a second time. So I'm like seeing visibly, discernibly, buyers defend, recapture the godlike level that needed to be defended, and they did it, and not once but twice. And you had to have consecutive higher lows, and I think it is it's the markup. We're talking about a structural development over the course of 300 plus days. I mean, that is just huge. And now, like, to is I think right now on the weekly, as long as the price of Doge is trading above 22 cents, that is the major reversal from March of 2024 last year. It's been a reversal back in 2021. As long as you stay above that, I think you're like golden for 34 to 50 cents. That's just the argument. That was the one where it was like, okay, in my Patreon, it's like, okay, if you care about alts, this is it. This is the one. Like, at entry just above 16.3 cents. This is it. And the resolution has been it's been immediate. Like, it's up literally 60+% from like that theorized entry because of the recapturing and the confirmation low and the bullish divergence in the MACD histogram on the weekly chart. I think that's just sellers exhausted, like at the pattern completion zone of an M shape. To me, that seems this is it. But I guess that argument becomes invalid if they ever take it below 16 cents. But my God, we're so far removed from that.
I think,
Yeah,
but
so
as a
that's
trade, I'm more. I'd ride that as a trade. If I was looking at that, even because the software is generating that as a type one. So
mhm.
it go 14. I hear you. I stared right at it and I dismissed it because I just was pretty sick of Doge and whatever, thinking it was just a recovery. But with that 27-cent target being really clear and it couldn't even pierce it, I'd probably just treat that as a reaction trade, be out, and then look for maybe 20 or whatever the next oversold is. But I say that's it. We're done. We got to retrace. Maybe, yeah, one more test. Maybe not 14, but definitely need an oversold trigger.
Yeah, for sure. And like, to play into that, like the setup, like the first target, like of the trade that was like the entry was in the 16 cents. The first target was like 25 cents. So you hit one target, and like these swing trades, you'll get like one target, swing trades, position trades. It'll hit one target, it'll overshoot the first target, and then that's after that. That's when like a big correction, like we're seeing, happens, and then people will reallocate, or they will reaccumulate, and then it'll make a higher low,
Hmm.
more accumulation to be determined, and then it will rally again. I just sent you the publication and the argument so you can see kind of where I was going. So it goes up, like you said, the trade, you take profit at that first peak, the discernible peak that gives you the potential double bottom, the reactions peak, and then the second target would be later at like 33 cents, but might come back. Yeah, it might, who knows, and come all the way down to 18 cents again, or lower. But if you see, like, that's
No, I
it
like the
plays.
higher low and all of that. Absolutely. I just maybe it's also part of me just throwing this in with having seen so many reaction trades go up and then come right back down that I'm just like, yeah, this is going to go up and come right back down. But the software, to be, real honest and true to the software is saying on the daily, it is still a type 1. I look at the fact that it hit 27 cents and rejected as a big deal where you need to show me again. So that's either like shark to 5.0 here, 20 cent, 20.8, or lower, some oversold signal.
Well, even if it went to 18 cents, it's still perfect. I mean, it's still like amazing. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy if it like completely wiped out all the gains from the entry or most of it, but that's why you take profit at profit taking level one, which was, look, it's like 26 cents, 25.9, which is 26 cents. So you took some profit, you're still in it. If it comes back down, whatever. you can just add more. Like I think if you wanted a better entry on Doge, if the worst thing happened, you come back down to 17.8, you add to your position. You might take profit and add it to that level almost. So um, yeah, I think it's active, it's good. We have no expectations, not making predictions until you get stopped out. Trade is fine, it's good, and yeah, I think eventually this will see 50 cents. If all stays the same, well, it's tons. Like, I mean, just think about the amount of accumulation that's been going on since October 2023. We're talking about 609 days of like very real and discernible higher lows. So I think
Definitely.
that's someone's out there adding to a position every time it gets to like that 886 deep retrace. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
Doge.
I hear it. I definitely hear it. Can we finally get that to go to something um, that remains to be seen. I'm, and I think maybe someday. I just think it's going to be a while, and I'd rather consider a Bitcoin all day long over Doge.
Oh yeah, certainly. Especially if you're well, I mean, like if you're levered, maybe, but like there's just if Bitcoin goes to 150K, 200K, I mean, what is that? 200K is almost like a 70, 80% upside. But I mean, like, you know, Dogecoin just going to the aggressive harmonic traders target, which is just 43 cents. The C point, that's 82% right there, non-levered. The A point's 100. You double up if it just hits the A C point and A point. So it's like it depends, right? I mean, like I think if you're older and you have a lot of assets, you don't have to take as much risk. But I think like legit, speaking to my past self, if you're in your 20s and you've learned and you're learning about technical analysis and risk management and all that, I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to take chances on something like Dogecoin or one of these altcoins with impeccable structures over hundreds of days, because you would just never get the yields anymore from Bitcoin that you would get on Doge or something else, like with a smaller market cap. Even like the bigger ones, like I think BNB eventually sees BNB. No, BNB hit an all-time high 2 days ago. It's still going for the highest weekly candle close ever. I think you see $1,000 BNB,
Yeah,
a reaccumulation structure going on since August. I mean, it was pretty much like a massive ascending triangle. You had a godlike breakout last week. We're all over it.
yeah.
Um, I just think like Bitcoin's for the rich man, and altcoins are the way to kind of get some yield. But yeah, you got to just know, like, hey, dude, 15%, 16% drawdown on your third largest crypto in the entire world in a day and a half. That was XRP, was down 16% in a day and a half. And it has the market cap it has. And it's like, welcome to the show. But can't say there weren't better entries on XRP. That dragon pattern breakout that was identified, even hit the support 190. So, um, yeah, I agree. Bitcoin all the way. Bitcoin's like your safer bet, you know.
XRP had a this crab pattern, and it came back, tagged at 355, dumped off of that. And whether that reacts or not, that's fine. I'm focused about after this. I was saying this on Tuesday. After we clear that hop level, it's above 365, 370, 380, to where
Yep.
then you're just rocking the crazy prophecy price discovery, which I think
Yep.
I said,
$5.
yeah. You're
Is that
I was talking about this on Tuesday. Get your thought on this of like these crypto prophecies, Bitcoin prophecy. Let's just say the $1 million prophecy looks like it could happen. What about the XRP prophecy, the Ethereum prophecy of these becoming
10K?
10K, XRP to $10? I think this, however it shapes out, or falls out. I just think these numbers are getting reached, and these market caps are getting, they're being formed for whatever reason, whether they're valid reasons or not. For XRP, that larger scenario starts after we get through this pullback, whatever, that's fine. We know they're going to play games in crypto, but get above there and then start the move. The $4, 450, because after that, then it is going to be too late. That's Bitcoin above 65, 70K. Same kind of a thing.
Yeah, yeah, where psychologically they're going to want to see
Or
a
Bitcoin,
hundred at some point.
yeah, or Bitcoin above 115 is probably a better way to think of that. But this will
Well, it's
go.
just we just have like this ongoing thing, this trend that will it might not ever end, at least the next 4 or 5, maybe 10 years, hopefully, if we get a 2028 that's, a continuation of this one. Um, you would have regulatory clarity. You have like a news piece every single day that is positive and pushing Bitcoin towards like, uh, institutionalization, like of these. What is it now? There's like, what's the news that broke? They didn't really do anything to the markets, but it's like you've got people are going to be able to use their crypto holdings as collateral for mortgages and loans now with JP Morgan, and now you have it to where like people can. I don't even know what it is about being able to people in their 401ks are going to be able to access crypto now to own it and stuff. And that's never really happened. And that just is keep continuing, right? You got 10,000 boomers a day retiring. You got millennials stepping into the throne for making decisions at these institutions, these family offices, and they are way more open minded and understand the future of crypto. And so it's just like we're in that period. Like it's like the internet adoption phase in the early
Yeah.
2000s, where it's like it's only gonna get way better. And yeah, I just think. And what about the bond aspect of things? Have you looked at the TLT lately? My God, dude! Like
Mm-hmm.
it's toxic. It is so toxic. Um, it just made its lowest high of the entire effing downtrend it's been in
Wow.
since 2020. So we'll get a 5+ year downtrend in the most recent characteristic or discernible event that has occurred on the chart is a bearish back test of a key support resistance from history, 87.74 to 88.60. Dude, that has always been, if they hold it as support, we're going higher. But they broke it again and just tested as resistance and you rolled over. And now you're just like in between 88 and $81. And it's just like, someone's going to be like, dude, it's a shark pattern. It's an M shape. But it's like, dude, until we're breaking back above 88.62, forget it. So I'm just thinking about how many trillions of dollars exist globally in the bond market. And we have the yield is so bad. And it's like, why do people want to own bonds? I just think the realization of like, my God, the currency debasement is rapidly occurring. I own bonds that are supposed to be risk free, but it's extremely high risk because what monetary debasement, Michael Saylor thinks it's like 14%, like 14% a year. No matter what the CPI, it doesn't matter. You're losing that much purchasing power. Like if you have a $10,000 in the bank, then you have your a year later it's $86,000. Like he thinks that now. That's how bad it is. So it's like if you have a bond that's like what 4.55, even at 6%, like you're still underwater 10% a year. So it's like, what's the point of owning a bond at all now? So that would be like Bitcoin, where the money just kind of like eventually is pigeon footed into Bitcoin. So that's yeah, it's not just like it's everything on top of bonds being in a really bad spot right here, and has been. $300 trillion bond market. There you go, dude. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. And
that's insane.
I think that's what a lot of people are targeting when they consider Bitcoin as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
and but like
so Bitcoin,
sailors. Sorry, go on.
Bitcoin to 10 trillion, which is half 11 trillion, half a gold. All right. That's one of the ways you get close to that $1 million Bitcoin. It'll put you 500 plus. You can see it. I mean, maybe a couple years ago the argument was a stretch, But
It
now what?
was. It was a pipe dream. Yeah.
But now,
Uh,
and your 15, 17% interest rate of is interest payments are the total 17% of the total budget, and that's not going
yeah.
away. I mean, that's not going away. This stuff is only going to become more where the need to paper over it all to just satisfy short-term obligations is going to continue. That's what's happening right now with this budget and with what the plan is for the next 5 to 10 years. They have decided to go for growth. How do you go for growth? You put lots of money out there to make it happen, and that's the only way. So that means asset prices go much higher in general. The bond situation, yeah, becomes less and less desirable, and you go for the alternatives.
But you got like, I mean, I don't even think millennials at all even. It's never even been a viable option for millennials to own bonds. That is like a boomer Gen X thing. Like,
Yeah,
right, okay, you were taught at a young age, dude. My generation, and I'm like an older millennial too. Like, not the oldest, but like older. And there's never been a time where it's been like instilled in me to own bonds. Like, you should own 60%, 40% bonds. Like, that's not a thing. Like, I don't own any bonds, and I've never owned bonds in my entire adult life. And
no,
I think that's probably true for a lot of other millennials too. So,
a 20th century convention that by default gone away because it's a trash
yep,
asset. Trash
it's
asset.
toxic. Yeah, you can't make money on it. And so that's just like where we're at. And they can keep, we're not going to raise interest rates anymore. I mean, yeah, what happens when they lower interest rates? Like even in this market environment, like what doesn't that lowering interest rates would make bonds go higher, I guess?
If you have buyers,
Yeah, which it's like abysmal at auction, right? They're like record lows all the time now. And China is at its lowest level since 2009 of purchasing our bonds. It's typically Japan, right? They're like our largest
yeah,
buyer of bonds.
yeah.
And dude, have you seen their treasury? Their yields are like spiky again, like where oh my god, things are dysfunctional, things are very bad. JP, I think it's is it 30 or 40? I think the 30-year. Let me see. No, it's the 40 maybe. JP 40-year yields. It's like not back at the highs we saw in May, but it got real close. Got
Yeah.
3.55%. So that's like really bad. I mean that chart's really concerning. I would think because we've never been this high before, and we're just staying up here, and we're like we just made the highest low ever in June, and starting to run again. I mean, it's just what a trend.
3-8.
Probably hasn't topped out.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to stop. I mean, they've got all of these governments have to refinance
So
and
what do they
refinance now.
do?
Well, it's
So they're
again, you're going to have to get quality assets to and alternative assets as they refinance, and that's how you get stuff like Bitcoin and other new classes to come in, and people are just going to go for the alternative. They don't. I don't know. It is an absolute shift. I've seen it. I've been watching this thing for decades. Yeah, I agree that you have to recognize that what has happened in the last 5 years, it's probably the greatest shift since the 74 removal of the gold standard and Bretton Woods. And so you're taking shape out of that and you're growing an entirely new economic system valued more so on not just bonds, dollar directly, but now you're building out like other hard asset style debt sectors. I mean, that's really what Bitcoin is. It's just like a it's a collateral. It is I'd say it's like a digital collateral against all of the printing and inflationary activity that the dollar and then indirectly bonds possess. So with all of that, that's why I asked you this, and I really believe this. of like this crypto prophecy, Bitcoin prophecy. Okay, because what are we playing for? Are we playing for the long term realization? Because more and more, that's for me, I feel like, all right, I should maybe swing trade, wait for big retracements like Bitcoin 75K or Bitcoin 93K or Bitcoin 115K, and then just keep adding there and play for the long term move. Play
Well,
for,
sir, those retraces already happened, right? They
yeah, well,
literally occurred, and here we are. And it's like the 4 hour until they're breaking 116.8 convincingly. This is going to 123 next on Bitcoin. Like the arguments there, the stop losses there. I'll just show you real quick. This is like the thesis or whatever my theory or constructed plan posted yesterday. Like you tell me. I mean, like does that make sense to you?
let me
What
post.
I've posted.
Hold on. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's not a problem. Mitch,
Right?
this
Because yeah.
Mitch posted this chart. I mean, yeah, just breakout flag, three targets, easy. I think 132 is the next spot. I don't even think where we are right now. It's just a pause, and then we're going to find ourselves above these highs pretty soon, and then and making the larger progress. I mean, next 30, 60 days. You're at 129, 132, 130, whatever, 142.
Yeah, and then you could go the next fib node too if you wanted. If you wanted to go crazy and go to the 4236, that's 147,000 for a target four. Before one of those levels will pull back maybe, but it's a valid argument again until sellers take the price below that stop, below the newly manufactured 116.8 level, maybe even 116.4. I even said that stop loss is a little tight, a lot tight. But it was about 500 points this morning from getting stopped out. I was sweating a little bit, but I never really got there. It was just another back test of the supply line we broke.
Yeah.
Perfect back test this morning, and then just rallied off of it. And look at us now. I mean, just like actually looking like this is a very real, slightly higher low we've got going on. So to where if you see those wicks off that white downsloping line, that is like the kind of a signal where it's showing more than before. There is a very subtle form of accumulation occurring locally. And that's kind of like the argument for taking the long and setting up a stop and having upside. And the reason why you wouldn't take profit at 122, 123 is because you certainly would not be getting a 3-to-1 reward to risk for where your stop loss is. So in order for you to have a strategic stop loss, you wouldn't be able to take profit till all-time highs at 127.5, the 1618 of the range. So anyway, it's just a swing trade, and it's educational, I think, which is the most important thing. Like trades succeed, trades fail, but what's most important is like the people on their trading journey are getting value and understanding like the thought process behind a constructed trading plan. So that's like kind of like I think both our purposes in this world is trying to articulate a foreign language to others, helping them learn it, and adding value to their lives. Hopefully, with them applying these lessons and making money. So mitigating risk.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a dot here. I don't know why it didn't show up, but I'll have to look at this. We should have a dot on Bitcoin 4 hour, a bullish, just short term oversold, and that's at 118. So, yeah, this does look like it's primed to go back up. I think 123 hop retest in the short term. I mean, days. Days. So, this is
Yeah,
pause.
yeah.
The pause is almost over. I got to agree with that.
Almost looks like it could happen. It's impending. It's an impending move. Like
Yeah.
the higher low has been put in. So you look at 116.8. That was certainly a level because of how many tests we received from the 18th. I mean, really like 15th through the 22nd, and like the argument. It's all about the argument. I mean, the sell off that we just recently received. There was so much demand subtly that the sellers tried really hard for 8, 12, 16, 20 hours. there were for about, let's just say, 16 out of 20 hours, sellers tried desperately to test 116.8, and they failed four out of the five candles of the tests. So that again is just part of the argument for the long, and like it's just what you're trying to do is you're trying to identify the psychology. You're trying, like, so a chart is, a lot of people just think, oh, it's just candles, red candle, green. Like, no, no, no. You're literally watching the psychology between buyers and sellers, and you can hone in on that. And very subtle cues can give you indication to believe, okay, there's too much demand now. There's not enough sellers to push it to one. If there were, the trade setup would have been stopped out last night. But again, like, they couldn't hit 116.8. They couldn't even test it. So it's like that's a good sign. So that strengthens that kind of gives you the argument. So anyway, I'm going on a rant here talking about it, but every trade setup you post, you want to be able to have the absolute best argument, like you are a trial lawyer, where like you're in front of a grand jury and you are presenting your case, and you got to convince every single one of them. And that's like, you think about it like that. Like, do you understand, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, why this setup is valid, why it makes sense? And they would all say yes by the time you're done explaining the why. It's all about the why when constructing trading plans. So anyway, I have to get out of here because I got my workout.
You got it. Me too. I appreciate the time, everybody. Please give Mitch a big shout out. Appreciate your time. I'm glad we were able to get back here on this and let you go do what you do. And I'll give you a call. We'll talk really soon.
All right, man. Thank you so much for having me on. It's was a great stream, man. A lot of good nuggets on this one, and yeah, y'all hit that like button, that bell, that sub if you haven't. And Scott Carney's got a Discord. You will probably want to post your, what you want to do, man. You want to have that Discord link and post it in your chat as soon as your stream starts, and pin
Yeah.
it to the top of your chat. Just so it's there. People come in, they come and go, and it's like, but they see that. They're like, oh, Discord link. Yeah, I'll join his Discord. Like, it's just good to do that. So yeah, join his Discord. Very helpful. Education is good. I'm not looking forward to this. It's leg day today, so I'm gonna die. One of my favorite machines is broken too, so it's gonna be awful. So wish me luck on that. And kind of,
You got it.
yeah.
All right. I will be in touch, and you have a great one again. Thanks again for today.
All right, brother. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Talk to you soon.
Peace. All right,
All right.
everybody. Mitch Ray, thank you again. Been great, great discussion, deep dive. It's been long overdue, and absolutely appreciate it. I don't know, my volume has been off and on all day. I'll have to check out what's going on with that. Could be Discord related. Looks like it was Discord related, but appreciate you guys. I'm glad we had that talk, and we're there. I think Mitch is actually a little more constructively bullish immediately than me. But I like what's going on, and I do agree that maybe Bitcoin is about ready to pop back up here. And, the rest of it, let's just continue to ride. It's a hell of an environment, guys. I mean, it really is. This breakout, what's happening in Bitcoin, across of it, just a lot of better things to come. I think it's going to be a rip roaring second half. Let's just embrace any retracement as a BTFD. Buy the freaking dip until further notice. All right? Appreciate you guys. And again, congratulations to our winner. How about out the door? We give away one more HPC 30 for the person that hung out there all the way. HPC 30 will give you a 30-day package to both. Okay, the software and the gold membership, and 30% off. Yeah, I'm doing that. So get over here. Everyone else, send your TradingView username to HPC at SR-Analyst. Get the 14-day free trial. You have any questions, anyone can send me a DM on Discord. Mr. Baby Fulton, you win. You've got to hit me on the Discord, okay? I need your email address, full name and TradingView username. You send that to me. I'll set that up special for you. Everyone else, have a great one. We'll catch you next week on Tuesday. Hit like, subscribe on the way out if you enjoyed what's going on. And we'll deep dive on Tuesday. Maybe a little teaser of what we're going to talk about in about 4 weeks. Maybe even a continuation of these bigger targets that we need to take a look at. All right, folks. NASDAQ all-time new highs as we're out the door. Same with S&P. Let's rock and roll. Until then, as always, have a great one and go get 'em.